Good evening, everyone. The time is 6:30, and today is Tuesday, October 17th, and I'd like to call this meeting to order. First up on our agenda is our consent agenda. First is the minutes from October 3rd. Any questions or comments from the minutes? Hearing none, I'll take the motion.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes from October 3rd.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye. Next is warrants 22 and 24. Any questions or comments? I'll take the motion.
I'll make the motion to approve warrants 22 and 24.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Visitors' comments. Any citizen wishing to speak before the committee must sign in with the administrative assistant prior to the opening of the regular session of the school committee. The visitor will identify themselves by name and address and shall speak for no longer than 3 minutes. For anyone unable to sign in ahead of time, we ask that you clearly state your name and address so that this information can be included in the record for the meeting. No visitors. Student representative, Faith.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Faith.
So, tomorrow is going to be a half day, and the PSATs are starting on October 19th from 8:30 to 11 a.m. So exciting. And then trunk or treat will be held at East Meadow on October 31st. Yearbooks are on sale. We've chosen a new Project If Everyone representative for the upcoming year while Brenna finishes off her year. So congratulations to Noah Chambers. Senior nights are coming. Tomorrow night is the boys soccer, then Thursday is the girls volleyball, and Friday is the girls soccer. The Booster Club is holding a purse bingo fundraiser at the Ludlow Elks, and Cole Fuller and Brenna Marino are this year's MIAA student ambassadors, and the Student Equity Leadership attended the back to school kickoff featuring Jonathan Van Ness a couple days ago during school, and it was a whole webinar and it was so much fun. And the freshman class will be selling Granby apparel starting tomorrow to November 3rd.
Where's the apparel on sale?
No idea, it's a surprise to me.
Oh, okay.
All
That
right.
looks surprises.
I should know that, but I don't.
And what was the fundraiser at the Ludlow Elks?
It's a purse bingo held by the Booster Club.
And what's the date of that again? November?
I have not written it down, but I will
Like
get
November
to
3rd or 4th or something.
No, it's later.
It was
it's
in
the
the-
19th, I believe.
A Sunday?
It's definitely that weekend, but I just saw it.
To be decided.
It's November 19th, 12 to 5, Ludlow Elks,
On a Sunday.
on a Sunday, 12 to 5.
All right. Okay. Any questions or comments for Faith? We're glad to have you back.
Thank you.
Okay. Next up is a vote for the Rural Schools Act. I'm still waiting for my computer because I didn't start it up, so I had some updates. So Jill, do you want to walk us through?
I can hop in. So I did put a draft resolution. The first 5, I believe paragraphs, 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraphs are, I think, pretty consistent. They came from a template. And then the paragraphs that I highlighted in yellow speak specifically to Granby. So those are a little bit, they talk specifically about how funding has impacted Granby. For example, Granby Public Schools have received minimal increases in Chapter 70 state aid over the past decade. In FY13, we received $4,493,290. In FY23, that had only risen to $4,725,110. So really about 30 $33,000 increase over a decade. Meanwhile, our operating costs are up over $1 million. So the funding's not coming from the state, which is leaving more on the local, our entitlement grants, things like that. So I think that's the picture that we're trying to paint with this, is to let the legislature know that if they do allocate that $60 million for rural school funding, then it's going to get put to good use, because just because enrollment might go down or fluctuate from year to year, it doesn't mean fixed costs go down with that, with the enrollment. So those are just certain things that seem to be missing in the formula that are impacting rural schools more so than our suburban and urban colleagues.
Okay, do we want, we need to vote on this tonight, right? Because we have to get it, like, there's like a deadline, right, Joe? Where we want to have it be part of?
It would just be nice to be able to join in. I think a lot of discussion happened that first week of October on that Thursday. But just to be a part of things, it might be a good thing for us to do, especially because Granby was one of those schools that was identified, or districts that was identified.
And this draft is, like, we would put it on letterhead and all those things. So, and then I guess one question I had for the committee, if approved, it does say signatures, so we could work with you all to try to get everyone's signature, or if it is just Jen's signature, that's just something that I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page for.
Should it be those of us that are actually voting on it tonight that sign it, or?
I mean, or you could sign it on behalf
of the
of
committee.
the school
Okay.
committee.
I'm okay either way.
Yeah, I'm fine with it either way too.
Okay, so I need to read this whole thing, right? I think that's what we did last time.
Yeah, I don't think it can hurt, I think.
And then they just vote.
So moved.
Okay. All right, so the resolution for the Granby School Committee. Whereas rural school districts in Massachusetts face daunting threats to their financial sustainability and thus to their ability to provide rural students with the same quality of educational opportunity enjoyed by students in other parts of the state. Whereas the Commonwealth has rightly touted its significant increase in education funding following the 2019 Student Opportunity Act, SOA. However, the most needy rural and declining enrollment districts have received less than 1% of that increase in funding. Whereas, no less than four recent and state legislative commissions have reviewed the looming crisis facing rural schools and concluded that rural school districts are seriously under-resourced and underfunded. Whereas, the most recent of these commissions was specifically created by the SOA to study and make recommendations concerning the long-term fiscal health of rural school districts that are facing or may face declining student enrollment, including recommendations for, among other things, expanding the Rural School Aid Grant Program and establishing and including a low and declining student enrollment factor within the foundation budget. Whereas, in its final report issued in the December 2022, the Commission on the Fiscal Health of Rural School Districts concluded that districts with very low student enrollment cost 16.7% more to operate than the state average, and that small K-12 regional school districts cost 22.7% more to operate than larger ones. Whereas, the Granby Public Schools have received minimal increases in Chapter 70 state aid, $4,493,290 in fiscal year 13 to $4,725,110 in fiscal year 23 over the past decade, including zero from the SOA, while the district's fixed costs, which do not decline in tandem with student enrollment, have pushed the district's operating budgets up substantially over that period. $9,700,421 in fiscal year 13 to $10,762,212 in fiscal year 23. Whereas, the town of Granby has a very limited ability to raise property taxes or other revenues, and yet are left to carry the burden of increasing education costs. Granby's average family home value is in the bottom 26% of the Commonwealth, and the town's tax rate is in the top 12%. Whereas, education now accounts for approximately 56% of the town of Granby's budget for fiscal year 24, while other town needs like roads, bridges, and building repairs upgrades must go unmet. Whereas, the Granby Public Schools have tried to economize, combining 2 schools by closing 1, pursuing competitive grants, and sharing services with other districts wherever possible in an effort to remain viable and serve our students. I think I need to go down a little further. Therefore, be it resolved that the Granby School Committee urges the Massachusetts Legislature's Joint Education Subcommittee to schedule a prompt hearing for H.3567 and its companion bill S.2388, and ultimately to recommend passage by both chambers of the Massachusetts General Court. Both bills would fulfill the commitment of SOA to address the chronic underfunding of rural and declining enrollment schools by requiring an annual appropriation of $60 million for rural school aid and implementing the full range of well-documented recommendations contained in the report of the Commission on the Fiscal Health of the Rural School Districts. Voted 10/17/23 by the Granby School Committee. So someone can say, so moved?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. And you'll let us know when we need to get together for signatures.
I will.
Okay, we don't have anything for continued business, so we're going to adjourn to work groups. And we have 2, policy and budget. We're missing a member from each one, so we won't go to separate rooms, but we'll just have the brief discussion with the committee member that is here, because the 3 of us are a quorum, so we can't have anything that's a vote, but we can have the discussions. So we'll adjourn to that, and we'll be back to report out. Okay, so we're back. We had policy subcommittee. Jill?
Yep, so we talked about updating one of our policies that we're going to take a look at, the head lice policy, and then we also talked about the cycle of reviewing policies. We'll start with policy A at our next subcommittee meeting, and then try to look at just kind of going through to make sure each one is up to date, even though we take in new information as we go, but just kind of looking at the entire, any other policies that could be under whatever section, just as like a good practice to get in. So we'll start with that and see how it goes.
Excellent. And for budget and finance, we took a look at the budget calendar. We've got, the work is already starting, but the dates will be there as a guide, and some discussion about how to get more people to attend some of our public forums and things like that. All right, next is standing reports. Superintendent's report.
Thank you. So it's always great to have the student rep here, but sometimes they steal some of my talking points. So I just want to remind everybody that we are planning the trunk or treat again. Tuesday, October 31st. This year it will be 3:30 to 5. And again, it will be in the back parking lot behind East Meadow. Just wanted to let everyone know that we also have the Innovation Career Pathways and the Pioneer Valley Public Service Academy planning grants. They're both moving forward. The Innovation Career Pathways team actually met for the first time yesterday. Looking forward to that work. And then I think the Public Service Academy's first meeting with Hatfield and Hadley is next week. So looking forward to that. Just wanted to give a brief World Strides trip update. Jen had asked a couple meetings ago because they were having a second student meeting, if that reopened the opportunity for families to refund, and they confirmed only if families had purchased the trip insurance could they get the full refund, but then there was a breakdown for families who didn't purchase the insurance, and it's basically a chart into how much money can be returned based on when they cancel. So Mrs. Dufresne has that. It's basically 25% of the base trip, 75 days before departure, 50%, 45 to 7. So there's a breakdown there for if anybody was looking to be refunded there. Principals List dinner is Tuesday, October 24th. That is at 5 p.m. at the Junior Senior High School Gymnasium. The Principals List award is given to students who achieve maximum or high honors in at least 3 of the 4 quarters in the previous school year. It's a great opportunity to acknowledge the hard work of our students in grades 7 through 12, and really excited to have that back this year. It's been back the past couple of years, but looking forward to this year's. And then reminder again that tomorrow, October 18th, is an early release day for students, for staff professional development. Junior Senior High School is dismissed at 11, and East Meadow will be dismissed at 11:40.
Excellent. Any questions or anything for Stephen? All right, you're up, Todd.
First thing is I'll be meeting with the principals, John Sullivan, a couple of department heads around possible capital improvement requests for next fiscal year, and be bringing that to the committee probably in middle of November, if there's anything that we'd be looking to take action on. So let's see what our needs might be that would fall within some of the restrictions that we have. Kitchen RFP, it's the design, request for design. I put it into the central register actually today, so it will go, it'll be published next Wednesday. And I've already been in contact to get it into the local newspaper to meet those publication obligations that we have. We'll have a site visit for any prospective bids in November 9th, and then we'll have the 29th is when the bids will be due to be opened. And so that still puts us on that timeline to have construction happen in June of 2024. And then the last update on the insurance claim, I did, we received, the town received an initial payment from the insurance company, so we'll be paying some of those invoices that have come in. I've been in communication with the adjuster, getting some last invoices in for some of the work that was done. And I'm going to check in with the key players to make sure there's nothing outstanding or anything that's come up since our last check-in.
Any questions for Todd? Jill?
For CES?
Yeah.
For CES, we met on the 27th of September. We did hear about the Beacon program, which is for Franklin County residents that they're partnering with Greenfield High School and GCC, but just a different opportunity for some students through like a blended learning avenue. There's an update about a capital reserve account in the fiscal report, and then just more conversation about the rural schools, which we did discuss.
Excellent. Anything else? Because we are at the end of our agenda.
I don't have anything. I do anticipate Sue will be here at the meeting on November 1st to just kind of give a bit more of a comprehensive look at the data results from last year. I know I talked about them briefly. They came up in the school improvement plan conversations a little bit, but just so that the committee gets a glimpse of some of the data, both from MCAS and IXL, and some of the steps that we're taking as a result of that. So I do anticipate she'll be here at our meeting on the 1st.
Excellent. Anything else for the agenda on the 1st that anyone can think of?
The head lice policy would be on there
For a vote.
for a vote.
Will that be enough time for you, Jill?
Okay, I'd already read it and went through it.
Okay, all right.
The only other thing I thought of just to mention was are you still looking for people to join the conversation for the dual enrollment? I saw an email come out.
Yeah, we did
looking
put that
for-
out. We got quite a few people who were interested. If people are interested, they can certainly reach out to me directly or to Jackie. I anticipate reaching out to the people who have responded at this point by the end of this week with some dates for our follow-up conversations.
Excellent. Okay, well, if there's nothing else, I'll take the motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good night, everyone.